following broadcast is a presentation of iRacing Motorsport and Simulations live on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our partners for their support.
He may get the run on the outside, off of the back straightaway. 26 and Hallmark trying to go 3 wide, no one's with them.
Talking and bobbing and weaving down the back straightaway, looking for a way around. The 5 machine trying to take a look underneath the 3 car. He's gonna dive in down to the bottom. A huge move down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Back bumper. Can anything happen through the tri-oval? Walker Thomas to the inside. Here he comes to the outside. Side by side through the tri-oval. The 14, it's gonna be a photo finish to the line. Who's gonna get it?
Walker Thomas. Machine coming out of turn number 4. Tiller looking to go 3 wide, almost 4 wide. He's gonna try to look for a gap. Bobbing and weaving for the lead down through the tri-oval.
Photo finish.
2x2. The 65 gets the win.
Welcome race fans to PTR TV for tonight's coverage of the Rivalry Racing League, as there are 2 races left in their championship campaign, the National Championship campaign. So before we get started with tonight's coverage, here's a quick recap of what happened last week at Pocono. And we're back there after the quick recap from last week at Pocono, where we saw Travis McDaniel win in absolute dominating fashion. So here we are tonight at the Kentucky Speedway, Sparta, Kentucky, the older version of Kentucky Speedway, as obviously we do not have the updated version yet. So we have the bumps, the 14 degrees of banking here, and it will be throwing these trucks all around the circuit here tonight. In the booth for the action and the call is myself, Corey Silva, myself in the booth and behind the cameras, also Brandon Krutz in the booth with me, Joe Chris behind the scenes helping us out with some things there. So Brandon, here at Kentucky in the trucks, the playoffs coming to an end. We're about to crown a champion. What are we going to look for here tonight?
Yeah, well, we're going to look for a lot of hard racing up here, especially between the top spots here up in the points. Top spots, including, well, obviously the chase drivers. Going over the chase standings real quick, Travis McDaniel in the lead, then it's Ricky Vigande down there in second, David Weishart in third, Brian Horde fourth, fifth is Phil Gary, sixth is Matthew Welsen back, seventh is Robert Victory, Garrett Grant, Brandon Stokes, and Joseph McWhorter rounding out to the rest of the chase field.
David Weishart did not have a good run earlier in the playoffs, so he is kind of playing catch-up at this point at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. If memory serves correctly, he was off his game. He was involved in a wreck. I want to say it was at Charlotte. Correct me if I'm wrong, but either way, he has to play from behind here as 13 points back and only 2 races to get it back.
Yeah, Ricky Vigande also 12 points back, so Travis McDaniel has the biggest gap of pretty much everybody in the points right now. So, you know, he's hitting pretty well out front right now.
Yes, he is, and as qualifying just about to conclude here in a matter of moments, David Weishart, he has to get maximum points and hope maybe a little luck on his side with Travis McDaniel maybe not having the greatest of days, but he's doing the best he can as he is on the provisional pole, and we will wait for couple seconds here, wait for the final results to shuffle through for qualifying, and we'll get you the grid. I'd want to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight to PTR TV. Hope you enjoy the coverage here tonight, Rivalry Racing League, as we end their season here in just a matter of 2 weeks' time, tonight and next week. But without further ado, here is your PTR TV starting lineup here at the Kentucky Speedway. On the pole with his lap time of 31.633 seconds, David Weishart in the number 21 machine. Garrett Grant on the outside of the front row. Travis McDaniel in third, Richard Holland in fourth. Then we have Brandon Stokes in fifth, Chris Seidenfaden in sixth, Brooks Potts in seventh, and Bryant Ward in eighth. Brandon.
Starting in the 9th position is going to be Michael Tibbetts. Robert Victory starting 10th. 11th is going to be Joseph McWhorter. Phil Gary starting 12th. 13th is going to be Ricky Vigande and Patrick Howard, William Budd, and Tim Rossetto rounding out the field. 16 drivers ready to start this race here tonight. And boy, oh boy, should it be a good show here from Kentucky.
Now the drivers will have quite the challenge tonight with obviously the bumps and the tire wear and all the challenges of Kentucky, so we will be watching that very closely to see who can prevail the best. Weather conditions tonight, nothing out of the ordinary. 78 degrees in the air, 78 degrees on the track, 2-mile-an-hour wind, as we like to call default conditions here on iRacing. And we are rolling off here onto the speedway. It'll only be one quick pace lap, and this race will be underway.
These guys will line up behind the iRacing official pace car, get stacked up, doubled up, ready to go back. Green flag racing here for the first time tonight. And just not too much longer to go in the playoffs, as Corey said earlier. You got tonight and next week, and that's it for these guys. We're going to be crowning a champion just the next week. But these guys have their eyes set here on tonight here in Kentucky, and looking for a good show. Pace car will be making its way down into the safety of the Kentucky Speedway pit road this time by David Weishart, going to lead these guys to the green flag. Pace car going to be pulling off this time by Off it goes, field to the hands of David Weishart now. Now Weishart on the throttle. Green flag is in the air.
And he got the jump he needed. 42 of Garrett Grant will drop right to the bottom of the track, getting himself in line in front of the two of McDaniels. They'll be side by side for third, entering 1 and 2 rather.
Heading down through turns 1 and 2 now, the 42 machine. Heading down the back straightaway has company from that 2 machine of Travis McDaniel. Now going down into turns 3 and 4, the 2 machine makes the dive down to the low side. 42 trying to defend up on the high side.
Now this is a challenge of the Kentucky Speedway, Brandon. The way that this track is configured, you're not going to want to be right there on the yellow line. There is less banking there, so you're going to want to see these guys running about 1 lane up off the bottom.
Heading down through turns 1 and 2 now, heading down up on the back straightaway. The 31 car now taking a look underneath that 2 machine. 31 car being Richard Holland, maybe looking for that 3rd position. Now going to be side by side, heading down through turns 3 and 4. Now down through turn number 4, Travis McDaniel with the momentum up on the high side.
Richard Holland, the driver we saw earlier in the season, won a race at Dover, but was kind of on a hiatus after that, so good to see him back here racing competitively in the top 5, and has to watch out. That 11 took a little bit of a look, but falls back in line as we come off corner number 2.
Brandon Stokes, another playoff driver here tonight, looking for that extra position. Now heading down into turn number 3, and Stokes even has company back there from the 62 machine of Chris Satenfat. Maybe looking for a little extra position here tonight as well. Satan Patton looking down low, trying to get a little bit of momentum. Going to get down there to the low side of the racetrack. Not going to work that time by these guys, single file racing.
Bryant Ward in the 7th position. Bryant Ward, a very competitive driver. He was actually penalized 7 points after his race at Auto Club after an incident, so that kind of took him a little bit out of contention as past 4 position. There goes Stokes to the inside of Holland. For Holland, that is for the 4th spot off of corner number 4, but the momentum up top will prevail and give the 31 the ability to hold on.
The 11 was not able to carry his speed off. Now here comes the 62 machine of Satenbad up on the high side, trying to get around Brandon Stokes. Stokes makes a move down to the bottom of the racetrack once again. Now heading down out of turn number 2. Stokes going to drift back up the racetrack. Here comes Brian Ward back there fighting for position against the 62 machine.
There he goes. Stokes is going to the top of the track, slide and fade to the bottom of the track, all the way on the yellow line. He'll have a challenge making that pass. He will not be able to do so. 44 Ward may have the momentum built up off corner number 4. If he should go to the outside, that's going to be the place to make the move, but he does not have the momentum.
Heading down into turn number 1 now. These guys singled out once again. Looks like that 44 machine has the momentum up against that 62 of Satan Van Ward. Maybe going to try to look down low. That he does. Going to be side by side heading down the back straightaway. Now heading down into turn number 3. Ward with the momentum down on the bottom, but going to have to look out the top side, carrying a lot of speed.
Yes, it is. That's where the banking is. The bottom, as I said, is a little bit flatter, so it's harder to get the runs down there. This is bringing Brooks Potts in the 50 up into it, right behind them. Not missing anything up front. Weishart out to a half-second lead.
44 machine now with a power move down to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to clear that 62. Not quite going to happen. Very close racing now down off of turn number 2, heading down the back straightaway. These guys now heading down into turn number 3. 44 down low, 62 up on the high side. 62 drifting up the racetrack, I think just a little bit too high. Can't go that far up. 44 going to have the momentum down the low side, but don't give it away just yet. Here comes the 62 machine once again.
Yes, he is not giving up here on lap number 8 of this race. They are battling hard side by side all the way up to the 3rd groove as this 62 may be a little bit high. That'll give him a little bit of challenge off the exit, getting that run off of corner number 2. He does have problems with that. Just ahead of this, Richard Holland took a look under Brandon Stokes, not happening there. Joseph McWhorter to the inside of Brooks Potts. That is for the 8th position.
Side by side, 2 by 2 here at the Kentucky Speedway. Now 44 next to 62. That looks like that 32 machine now pulled in next to that 50. That's both Joseph McWhorter and Brooks Potts back there as well. Now up front, that battle settles out behind them. It looks like 50 machine gonna try to fight back on the outside now. These guys still gonna be 2 by 2. Now back up in front of them. The 44 machine has momentum up on the low side there. Not something we'll probably see too often. That low side not going to work all night. That 62 machine forced to fall back behind the 44.
Yeah, these drivers from about 6th on back having quite the battle as Ward is up in the 6th position, 2.5 seconds behind the lead. Give a quick flash up to the front. Weishardt still up to about a 0.4 of a second lead over Garrett Grant in the 42. McDaniel trying to dig right on that yellow line there in the 3rd spot, but losing time down there. Brandon Stokes right behind this, and then that train of trucks we were talking about.
Looks like all the battling for positions has come to an end, at least for now. These guys single file all the way around the Kentucky Speedway right now. These guys, I think at this point, Corey, have their positions set until we get some green flag pit stops. And they're just looking to ride around a little bit.
I would expect this race, Brent, I know you're not the strategy guru, but there's a little bit of insight towards that. I would expect them to do a 2-stop race here tonight, probably around lap number 45, and then maybe around lap 90, give or take a couple laps here and there. I think that would probably be the strategy to play. I don't think these guys are going to want to pit and do a 3rd stop, but we've seen many strategies before, so you never quite know.
Yeah, absolutely, Corey, and a lot of mixed strategies normally get played here in these races. You know, this league kind of known for its long green flag runs here, so it should be interesting here tonight, especially with championships on the line, to see what some of these guys are going to do.
Yes, indeed. The 21 is going to do anything at all cost to be able to lead this thing all the way, as many laps as he can and dominate. That's the only way he's going to get himself back in contention. We are at Atlanta Motor Speedway for 200 miles to wrap up the season next Thursday night. So he's going to need the best opportunity here and the best opportunity next week, and maybe hope for a little, you don't want to wish bad luck on your competition, but when it comes for a championship, maybe hoping McDaniel has an off night.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, right now, David Weishart down in front of this field by quite a bit, so 21 machine. He had a very rough start to the playoffs here, and so looks like if things go well for him tonight, could hopefully turn around. It is only lap 14, though. These guys running 134 laps here tonight, and quite the distance here for these guys, but looks like strategy will be coming into effect. I don't see any really opportunity at a caution flag to fly, but you never know.
It does not seem like there's, usually there's multiple reasons for cautions. There's either extremely tight racing and driver error, or sometimes the setup is a little bit conducive to maybe guys getting loose and spinning out, but even at night, usually we don't see loose vehicles at night. I would expect these guys have plentiful grip, so I do think this race is going to be decided on pure speed and strategy, so they're going to have to be thinking early, how hard do you want to push, how much tire do you want to burn through, because you never know, that could affect your ultimate end race.
Yeah, absolutely, so I'm sure these guys trying to be cautious of the tire wear here tonight. But, you know, I think that's one of the reasons why we see these guys single out so fast is, you know, they're worried about tires. As we see battling going on back here between the 44 and the 31 machine. Now 62 and the 32 trying to get involved as well. Brian Ward underneath Richard Holland right now. Zayden Patton and McWhorter back there as well. 44 trying to get underneath that 31 machine, and now does 31 get actually clear him heading down into turn number 1 this time. 44 trying to run the bottom line, not quite going to work this time by, although he has a huge shot of momentum down the back straightaway.
Yes, he does. He may be able to sail it off in there into corner number 3 and try to clear the number 31 of Holland, but that's not going to happen. Takes the conservative entry into that corner. Holland will bring it around the top of the speedway. You can see the bumps here at Kentucky, just throwing these trucks all around. McWhorter thought he was going to split the middle there just for a little bit of time, but he'll go to the top trying to follow Holland and maybe get around Ward and stick him on the bottom.
44 trying to take a little bit later of an apex than the rest of these guys, and now ends up clipping that yellow line. A little bit of, loosey-goosey, slippy-slidey, as I always like to say, down off of turn number 2 that last time by. Ended up losing some momentum. Now he's going to have to battle it out with the 32 machine, and here comes the 62 machine trying to get to his outside.
Yeah, this is the best battling on the racetrack, folks. This is for about the 6th position on back. McGorder was at the end of this pack, and he must have saved his tires or found something, because he has gone to the top of the racetrack and passed all these drivers, getting to the top 5. Still side by side is Ward and Holland. Holland has had a good start to the race, but seems to be just slipping on back now to the 7th spot. They may be in danger of falling to 8th, as Seidenfaden is running the inside of the track. Had a little bit of momentum built up, but lost it off the center of the corner, and we will take another lap.
Yeah, these guys gonna single up once again here, and as much as they want to race, these guys just really have to watch the tire wear, and that's something that is very important, especially at a track like Kentucky. So many bumps, so many really big bumps that you got to watch out for, and you got to be concerned about. And racing hard just does not help the case at all.
And there's some aspects of it to a dirt track. You really have to nail your line. You have to really commit to what you're going to run, and you really just have to have a nice tight grip on that wheel and just fight the bumps. Try to hold your line, because if you miss it, someone is going to fill in that gap.
Yeah, absolutely. Except the only difference here is you don't have to worry about your tires sealing over, because you're already slicks.
Those who don't know dirt, I have no idea what you just said.
You see, Corey, dirt tires have tread on them. These don't.
Yeah. Unless we're on a road course and it rains, and it hasn't rained at a road course for a NASCAR Monster Energy Cup race yet. But they're prepared for it if it does. Let's take a bunch of hoses to Sonoma and just,
have a little fun.
Actually, we might get killed by the state of California because they're in a drought, so I don't think that's going to happen, but up front, the deficit...
Anyways.
Yeah, the deficit for Garrett Grant is starting to dwindle. He is closing in on his teammate, David Weishart. We'll pull up the lap tracker here and show you who is fastest amongst the top 10, and last time around, the Kentucky Speedway, fastest on the track, Brandon Stokes. He was in the O's. Garrett Grant in the 1s, Weishart in the 2s, and look at that. What was about a second lead now down to 0.3 of a second.
Now, the real question is Weishart just saving his stuff, or did he already blow through it?
He at lap 23, whatever he had is no longer there, because you don't save midway through the run. He would have been backing the pace down early on. So I definitely think that maybe he overdrove it that first run, as Brandon Stokes has passed Travis McDaniel to get into the 3rd spot. So it does look like a couple drivers up front have not managed the tires appropriately and paying the price for it.
Garrett Grant sees his teammate right in front of him, David Weishart, and he's going to be looking for the lead here very shortly. Now, Corey, any idea when we could expect pit stops here as well?
My estimate was about lap number 45 or 42 to 45, because that would pretty much give them equal stints of approximately 42 to 44 laps for this race, if it does go green the whole time. So we will see if that does indeed happen. But I will say this is a really good run for the 42. I think this is one of the best runs he's had all season. Garrett Grant, his best finish was a 3rd at Las Vegas all the way back in the beginning of March. Hasn't had a top 5 run since then, so it's running in 2nd spot, taking a shot at the lead. 42 brought something here tonight.
Yeah, Garrett Grant is in the playoffs, and currently in position number... Well, he's currently down 3rd to last on the playoff charts right now, so, a win here could really bump him up. He's 34 points back, 25 points back from the lead, so chances are he's not going to be able to walk away with the championship this season, but he could improve his spot in the points greatly.
Yeah, to help for next season and his endeavors to maybe get a better run next season. We are missing a chase driver here tonight. We are missing Matthew Walzenbeck, 29. He was, I believe, 6th in the points, as cut that thought short. Here we go, battle for the lead.
Side by side, heading down. No, not quite anymore. Garrett Grant backs it down, heading down to turn number 3. Not quite going to get racy yet, but he does have the momentum heading down into turn number 4. Weishart dives it down the low side of the racetrack, trying to defend that position, trying to get the shot off, heading down into turn number 1 now. Garrett Grant right to his back bumper.
Yes, he is, and just trying to stalk his prey right now, figure out where the weak spot is. Look at him get through the center of 1 and 2. Much better than his teammate in the 21. Has a little bit of steam down the back straightaway. What will he do with it in corner number 3? Trying to get to the outside, maybe do a little crossover, maybe just run the high line, see if that works for him. And I think he's going to have some momentum off of 4.
Oh boy, he got sideways down off of turn number 4 that time by. He lost quite a bit of momentum there, and well, don't look now. Travis McDaniel back to the 3rd position. He's going to have his eyes set on this battle here very shortly.
And McDaniel is dedicated to running that yellow line, Brandon. It's not something that I would recommend or something that I've really put too much time in practicing, but it does seem to be working for him, surprisingly.
Yeah, the only thing that he's going to have to watch down there is how quickly he is burning through his stuff with, you know, still about maybe 15 laps left in this run.
Yeah, they will be burning off the right front tire down there. You're going to have to crank more wheel into it to get that thing to turn using that groove. So maybe he's developed a tactic. I haven't seen it work, but you could definitely see it working. Here comes the 42. He has some momentum. Here he comes with a look to the inside, down the back straightaway. Will this be the pass for the lead?
42 down on the low side, now 21 up on the high side. Going to be side by side, heading down through turns 3 and 4, down off of turn number 4. Weishart clears. Here comes Travis McDaniel, the 42. Dives it down to the bottom of the racetrack. A little bit of contact to the back bumper of the 42. Now the number 2, heading down into turn number 1. 42 drifts up high on the racetrack. The number 2 machine looks down low.
Daniel in his line all the way down there to the yellow line of the speedway. Gets him the run through the center of the corner, but not quite the momentum down the straightaway. But he is definitely making some time up as he dives it to the inside. Grant running that 3rd lane. McDaniel all the way around the bottom, but the 42 will have enough momentum for now to hang on to 2nd.
Yeah, that was a power move down the bottom of the racetrack that last time by from Travis McDaniel, but didn't quite work out for him. And Corey, these guys battling this hard, they really got to watch those tires. I cannot emphasize that enough. Travis McDaniel, especially with how low he's running on the racetrack.
Yeah, they are already down about 1.7 or so seconds off of their best times as McDaniels with another diver into corner number 3. Tries to clear him. He's not going to quite have it. The 42 may have the momentum. Actually, he will clear him. No, he won't. Using the side draft.
Boy,
42.
Garrett Grant.
Try to side
Grant
draft,
has momentum. Nowhere to go with it. McDaniel shuts the door.
Not enough momentum, not enough side draft. He couldn't quite pull it off, so up to the 2nd position is the 42. Maybe trying to go 2 for 1 here on lap number 33. Thought he was going to have a run to the inside of Weishart. He'll fall back in line. 42 was able to get to Weishart, not able to pass him, but McDaniel trying to make that pass. Right on the yellow line is that number 2 truck. He will try the best off of corner number 4. He may have a run nearly into the fence, was the 21.
McDaniel going to be side by side for the lead now. Weishart barely got it that time by across the line. Heading down into turn number 1. McDaniel trying the power move down into the corner. Not quite going to work. Weishart with the momentum up high. Now down out of turn number 2. The 21 machine up on the high side. 2 machine down low. The 42 still lurking back there. And you see Brandon Stokes in the background right there as well. Now the 2 machine trying to pull that power move down to the bottom through turns 3 and 4. Not quite going to work.
Not quite at work. They are side by side for about the 2nd or 3rd lap here. 42 using the side by side. He's going to go to the outside of the 2. Nearly, but the 2 is going to shut the door on him at the end of the tri-oval there. Now here comes the 2 back to the inside of the 21. 42 trying to go to the top. Take advantage that way. 3 cars under a blanket for the lead.
Side by side for the lead once again. Weishart trying to use that upper groove to his advantage. McDaniel trying something new down on the bottom line, something that we have never really seen here work at the Kentucky Speedway. Now heading down off of turn number 4 this time by. Who's going to get it at the line? It's going to be the 21 machine leading this lap once again. McDaniel just hasn't had the momentum. Now right on the backbone of the 21.
Still going for the lead here at Kentucky Speedway. The 2 is dedicated to that yellow line, but running that line, he doesn't have all the space to corner exit to get the momentum, so that is why he's struggling so bad to make this pass. He has a little bit of run. He's going to dive it on in there into corner number 3. Nearly clears him on entry, but here comes the 21 rounding on the outside. Keeps the momentum built up. We remain side by side for another lap.
We've tried to pull that power move down there into the corner. Weishart wasn't having any of it. Maybe was going to try to pull that slider down off the corner. But now, heading down through turns 1 and 2, once again, Weishart, you can see the momentum that he carries up on that upper groove. McDaniel just can't get the run off. The 42 machine, oh, almost a little bit of contact. Maybe a little bit of contact between the 2 and the 42.
This is also a problem for McDaniel on the bottom. He's running that bottom so much, even having to put more wheel into it. His tires must be even worse off than they may have been. Oh, close call. 21 cut to the bottom all the way on the apron. It's extremely bumpy down there. Here comes the 2. He may have a run. 42 to the top of the 2. Here we go, racing hard for the lead still.
Top 3 under a blanket right now. 21 to 42.
Whoa,
now heading down.
42.
Oh, close racing. Down off on turn number 2. That time by a little bit of contact between the 2 and the 42. Now take it easy, boys. It's still early in this race. Only lap 38 of 134 in this race. These guys are racing like it's a last
42
lap.
has a head of steam. Are we going to go 3 wide through the trioval? Yes, we are. 42 to the top of the track, but Weishart's going to go for the block.
42 maybe was going to look down in the middle, thought better of it. 21 to 42, all racing under a blanket here. Now heading down out of turn number 2. Weishart still holds the lead to the 2 and the 42. Oh, that was almost a bad situation for both of those drivers that time as well. Now McDaniel with the power move down into turn number 3.
You would think there's $1 million on the line with how hard these guys are racing for the lead here. Absolutely amazing stuff. Weishart has held off all of the challenges, but now Garrett Grant in the 42 back in the second position. Time for him to take another stab at it.
McDaniel maybe going to look down low once again. Now down underneath the 42 machine, side by side once again. Both of these guys right on the back bumper of 21. Now McDaniel has the momentum down the straightaway. Weishart blocks down low.
Weishart to the bottom. Here comes a 2 to the top. The 2 has not been in that groove all race, but he's going to take a look. Here he comes to the top of the track, and we have pit stops.
That was almost a bad
Whoa,
situation.
42 locks him up. Here comes about 4 or 5 drivers. The 42, I'm not sure of his situation there. He had a really interesting pit entry. Kentucky is a very hard pit lane to enter with the cone being so far out there in corner number 4. We'll have to see if he was penalized, but 2 on the track. We'll see if he pits this time by. It would be a very intelligent decision for him to not lose the time, but we will see what he does.
Garrett Grant should be okay. He was in between the cones, and he was not speeding. So he should be okay.
And McDaniel with the immediate entry to pit lane after that does not want to lose any time. Much smoother entry to pit lane for the 2 rather than the 42. So up front as we'll catch our breath after that hectic racing. Some of the best racing we've seen in quite some time here on the channel. But Richard Holland in a battle with Chris Seidenfeld, and this is now for the lead as we await them to come to pit lane.
62 looking to the high side now. Kind of a race to green flag pit stops here, Corey. 31 still holding the position out front.
Yes, he is, and not quite in the lead battle, not in a championship battle, so maybe just trying some kind of a different strategy, try to see if he can make anything of it, maybe trying to catch a caution. A lot of things that he could be racing for right now. Chris Seiden faded into the fence there.
Oh, into the wall. 62 goes through the grass.
This should be okay. If he merges back on the track safely, we should be fine. Let's
50 around at pit entrance as well.
Oh, we have stuff all over. Let's go back on replay quickly and try to see what happened to Seidenfeld, and if we can. You can see here he is in turn number 3 behind Holland in that number 31 machine, all the way on the yellow line. On the power too soon was a 62, and boom, right in the fence and through the grass.
I believe playoff contender Ricky Fagone also got a penalty, possibly. we're gonna have to see, but he did hit the cone on pit entrance. No penalty for the 20 machine, but that was a close call.
Up front right now, Garrett Grant unlapping himself as he does pass to number 31, who still has yet to come to pit lane. We'll tell you right now, Garrett Grant, with that erratic pit entry, has lost some time to the battle to lead the drivers he was battling with. David Weishart now coming off a 4, hitting the stripe, has about a, let's just try to see here, about a 2-second gap over Travis McDaniel, and then another second and a half back behind McDaniel to get to Brandon Stokes, who is now battling with the 42. So that battle has definitely spread out after that green flag set of stops.
Right now, I'd say Richard Holland's end goal here is just to wait it out and see if there's a yellow. He saw how much activity there was going on the racetrack. He's going to try to push it as far as he can go, just in hopes that he can get a yellow. I think that would be his best shot right now. Other than that, I think he would be pretty much done for.
Yeah, he didn't have the pace, so if you don't have the pace, I mean, what the harm is there in trying something different? Now, the only way he could do anything radically different would be to get to about lap 67, which is not going to happen here tonight. You are not going 67 laps on fuel, so like you said, Brandon, I think he is just playing the caution card right now, seeing if something will maybe come to his benefit right now. Only 2 that have stayed on the track are Holland and Tibet's in the 23. Weishart right behind them, but 24 seconds behind the leader at the moment.
Yeah, so 31. I'm surprised with how long he is staying out, though, Corey.
Yeah, because like I said, this, to my knowledge, which, I mean, I'm not the smartest pit strategy guy, but I think I know enough, he's not going to be able to subtract a pit stop. So at this point, by staying out, he, like we said, he is just praying on the caution card, but he will, no, I thought he was going to peel in that time by, but nope, he will stay on the circuit.
You notice how much slower that 31 machine is than everybody else here on the fresher tires, and
they are the top 2 who are still on the track are a little over 2 seconds off of the leader's pace right now, well, the 3rd place pace rather.
Yeah, so right now it is the 31 and the 23 that are still on the racetrack.
Still, as we are on lap number 49 with Richard Holland, will be starting this lap for us. We have 16 drivers that started the race, still 16 drivers on the track. Tim Roseno in the 10 machine just unlapped himself, so he is the last one on the lead lap. Ricky Fagone is in the 12th spot, and I think he is the next, he's in a free pass position at the moment until 31 does come to pit road, and we are still awaiting that, and it can't be more than 5 laps away, Brandon. I can't imagine. That'll be 55 laps. That is, I think, at the edge of the fuel window.
Yeah,
I know you and asphalt fuel windows. I don't even know why I'm bringing that up, but I think about lap 55, maybe 60 tops is how long you can go. 60 is really pushing it. And Weishart, last I brought it up about 3 laps ago, he was 25 seconds off the pace. Now he's only 17, so he's already chopped off 8 seconds about 3 laps. So
yeah, so Holland still just riding around.
hope everyone enjoyed that battle, Brandon. That was, I mean, we have to say, we've seen some long green flag runs, but that was some hectic battle. That was some great racing those guys put on for us that first run.
Yeah, there was a lot going on there in that run too, and you know, props to these drivers here. These guys, you know, even with, you know, the medium-sized fields, it is very difficult to put on long green flag runs like this, and you know, these guys very good at what they do, very good at keeping control of their cars, and you know, props to all these drivers out here for what they do, and that was some really awesome racing.
Yeah, it was. This, as we said, this is only the second to last race for them. Atlanta Motor Speedway coming up for the final race of the season, and season 2 will be complete. So season 3 for Rivalry is, I think, still in planning. We don't have details of that quite yet, but Check them out, rivalryracing.com. If you are a fan of college football and you like some truck racing, then here you go. Combine the two, pick your team, get a paint scheme, and come out and join these guys on Thursday nights.
Yeah, and obviously, like we said, pretty good league.
Paint schemes courtesy of Krutz Custom Graphics. I'm sure he could throw something together for you. How you like that little plug?
That was good.
Robert in victory in the 7 will unlap himself now, so almost to the point where the entire field is back on the lead lap. But right now, Weishart, remember that battle we had with Weishart, McDaniel, and Grant? Grant, he's all the way back to 7th now. He's lost positions to McDaniel, Stokes, and McOrder. So I don't know what happened this last run, but that 42 is not running the same pace.
Boy, I'm impressed with how persistent that 31 and the 23 are to stay out on the racetrack right now. And the 23 is actually catching the 31 for the lead.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're just going to mind blow me and run 67 laps and do one. I mean, I can't see it happening. So, I mean, the caution clock is, I mean, not the caution clock. We know how horrible of a rule that was, but just the odds of a caution coming out at this point are extremely slim. The closest on-track battle right now is actually Phil Gary and Tim Rossetto, so maybe if they have a little bit of a kerfuffle, we can have a caution, but I don't really see that happening.
But we've seen miracles happen before, Corey.
Oh, here comes Joseph McOrder and Brandon Stokes. This is at the moment for the 5th and 6th position. McOrder to the inside of Stokes, but that outside just has the momentum built up, and 11 will hang on for now as Grant and Bryant Ward, haven't talked about him since the beginning of the race, just closing in on these guys.
Battle for the lead is shaping up here now, Corey, between couple of cars that still have yet to pit, the 31 and the 23. Gonna go side by side for the lead, heading down the back straightaway. Heading down into turn number 3, the 23 machine gonna dive it down into the bottom of the racetrack. 31 way up high.
This is probably the slowest battle for the lead that we've seen all night. These guys are just snailing it around the speedway on these absolutely ancient tires, as Brooks Potts with these fresher tires is going to put himself back onto the lead lap. Now it just leaves Seiden Faden and Patrick Howard, only ones off the lead lap.
I give these guys props for battling, though, side by side once again. The 23 machine wants to lead a lap around here at Kansas.
Where we are?
Kentucky.
Where are we at, you big dummy?
You know what I meant. It's been a long day at work.
You guys are bored, go back to American Sim Racing Series, where Brandon thought Richmond was Michigan. So at least I'll give you credit. At least you had a mile.
That was, you know, the unfortunate part about that one was that was the first ASR race that we covered.
AR race? What are you talking about?
ASRS.
Do we need to call Evan Block into the booth as a replacement right now? Could you hang on for another 100 laps? Or however many are left?
My mind is fried. Here comes the top 2 to pit road.
After 58 laps, so just, well, a little bit shy of what they would have to do for a one-stopper, which we didn't expect anyways, so they got themselves some TV time and some battling going on, so that was good for them. But up front now, Weishart up by 2.5 seconds over Travis McDaniel. Brandon Stokes now 3.3 seconds back, and then the battle is for the 3rd spot between Stokes, McOrder, and Grant. Bryant Ward trying to hang on to the end of this train, but Garrett Grant to the back bumper of Joseph McOrder, seeing if he could take the old diver into corner number 3. Nope, he will try maybe getting the run to the outside. Again, not working quite yet either. You want to bring up that we have a... oh, actually, before I cut myself off here, we're still going to have a battle. 42 all over the back bumper of the 32. Looking high, looking low. It's all over the track now. Can't find the run, but he definitely has the faster car at the moment. Faster truck at the moment, rather. It's like he got settled, but what I wanted to get into, we do have big news here on PTR TV. We are just about ready to share. So stay tuned for to our website. Stay tuned to our social media for some big news here about the channel that I think fans will be interested to hear about the future of the channel. And stay tuned on our channel for the Racer's Mind, our podcast that we have. We've beginning to pick up some steam here. We have a good show planned for next week with a bunch of broadcasters about some topics in the broadcasting community. So stay tuned for that here on PTR TV, but also stay tuned for the remainder of tonight's Rivalry Racing Kentucky 200 here. We have run clean and green for 62 laps. David Weishart has been out front for the better portion of them, 42 of them to be exact. Travis McDaniel in second has led 2 laps. Brandon Stokes in third. Joseph McWhorter in fourth. Garrett Grant in fifth. Bryant Ward in sixth. William Budd in seventh. Haven't talked about him too much tonight. Tim Roseno in eighth. Phil Gary in ninth. And we have Ricky Fagone in 10th. Robert Victory in 11th. Brooks Potts in 12th, Chris Seidenfaden in 13th, last driver on the lead lap. And then we have Richard Holland a lap down in 14th. He led 16 laps tonight on that extremely lengthy strategy run there on the first stop. Michael Tibet's in 15th position. And then 3 laps down in 16th is Patrick Howard. That is your slightly before halfway race break.
David Weishart right now just over a 2-second lead. 2.3 seconds at the line. That last time by was the lead. And, well, that gap really, Corey, starting to close a little bit. Travis McDaniel, but I don't expect him at the rate that he's closing to get there until maybe just before the next round of green flag pit stop start.
Well, last time by, Weishart was actually this time by, McDaniel was only 2/100ths of a second faster, so obviously that is a drop in the ocean towards the deficit that he needs to work on. So Weishart and him pretty much running identical laps, and fastest on the speedway last time by was Garrett Grant, however a 7-second deficit, and look at the gaggle of trucks that he's in right now.
Now the 42 machine
Tibet's
back there fighting.
Tibet's in the 31. Remember, they just pitted, so they have fresh tires. They will zoom past these drivers, typically without too much of an issue. But 11 in the 32 for position, 42 in the 44 for position throughout this.
Yeah, absolutely. Brandon Stokes up there trying to fight for position. That's the 11 of the 32 that are fighting for position up there.
So kind of battle with lap down trucks, battle with lead lap trucks going on simultaneously here. 32 seeing if he can maybe take some advantage of it. Gets right to the back bumper of Stokes here through corner number 4, running extremely high, a little bit too high. Killed his momentum off as the 23 of Tibet still is not able to clear. Actually, the 11 of Stokes will clear, and McWhorter will have that deficit between them.
Yeah, so a good amount of trucks back there fighting for position, or a couple of trucks back there anyways, fighting for position. Now, looks like everything's settled down. Cross flags in the air this time. By for halfway, David Weishart going to be taking that halfway at the line. Looks like he's out too. A pretty solid lead. So halfway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our mid-race break and stick around for the end of this thing. We'll be right back with you.
Red Bull GRCs are now available on iRacing. I personally put my blood, sweat, and tears into this thing, developing the cars, the tracks, the dirt, making sure it is authentic as possible, and I really think you guys are going to love it. The best part is that this 600 horsepower Volkswagen Beetle is free to all members. So get signed up now and come race me online.
When I was 16 years old, I was working in a Goodyear tire store, and my boss actually built an old dirt car, street stock Monte Carlo. Went with him one night, fell in love with it. It was a hell of a race, hell of a party, and a big...
And we're back racing here at Kentucky Speedway. Still clean and green here for the Rivalry Racing League as take lap number 75 right now. Haven't missed a beat up front. Actually, have missed a little bit as McDaniel has chopped into the lead by about a half second. As leader of Weishart now getting into some lap traffic as he closes in on the number 7 of Robert Victory to put him 1 lap off of the pace in the 13th position. Garrett Grant in the 42. Remember, we saw him battling with the top 2 prior to the first set of stops. He is back to 5th now, but he has up to 3rd place in his sights here, trying to battle with McGorder and Stokes.
Something to note, I just saw Weishart start blinking a little bit, so maybe gonna watch that internet connection for our leader.
I did see that. I didn't know if I was going crazy here, but cut ourselves off on that thought as the battle is on heavy for the 4th position. Grant is all over the back bumper of McGorder, trying to find a way back. He's definitely faster, but just can't seem to find a way by.
Looking down the low side now, down to 32. Shuts that opportunity out in the 42 machine. Right to the back bumper, not going to be able to do anything quite yet. We know Garrett Grant has speed in that race machine. It's just he can't get around the 32.
No, he cannot, and he is bump drafting him down the back straightaway here at Kentucky. Maybe a little bit of lack there of patience building in that number 42 Louisville Cardinals Silverado.
How'd that go, Corey?
I was being very generic on the name until I could clarify it 100%. But Bill will fall back here just a little bit. But Brandon up front, I will tell you, that number 2 is on the charge, now down to a 2.5 seconds back. But as I pull up here and we can see how long these drivers have been on the racetrack, about 37 laps, we should see next set of stops probably within the next 10 or so.
Yeah, absolutely. So, should be interesting. I'm more interested to see what that 31 machine is going to do, as well as the 23. Those guys are on the same strategy.
Just now getting their lap back is Richard Holland right now, so he's at 13th, but he is now back onto the lead lap as the number 21 will fall into the rearview mirror.
It'll be interesting to see how far they can actually go. You know, it's a very off-putting strategy, but I guess if you're going to try to win it, you got to try something different.
Saw them go 60 laps on that first run, and if they did run the tank dry, let's multiply that by 2, 120. They're still 14 laps short on this race, so that's why I was a little bit confused with their move. I mean, as we said, the only thing that was going to be working in their favor was hoping for a caution. They did not get it. So they're going to have to morph themselves back onto a normal strategy to make this race on fuel. Or maybe do a splash and pit when they want to pit, maybe around lap 20, 120, and do a splash. I don't quite know what they're going to want to try to do.
Yeah, I really am not sure.
I don't think a splash of gas is going to work because they're going to be so slow on those tires that there's no way that it would work to their benefit. But as we pull up the battle tracker yet again, we need to see what's going on up front here. And we'll wait to see another lap go by. I think a little connectivity issue with the leader has thrown off our accuracy with our lap time, because I don't think he just ran a 4.5 second lap. That would
no, I don't think so.
That'd be rather impressive, but still out of whack. So we can't give you a lap time assessment, but we can give you an interval assessment, and that interval is now only 0.6 seconds. So McDaniel has figured out something, or Weishart maybe is just, I'm not quite sure, but it was 2.5 seconds, and they pitted just about at the same exact lap. And actually, look, here we come. Pit stops on lap 82. Oh, Weishart!
Oh, Weishart sideways.
Oh, no.
He's around. He's out of pit road. That's going to be a penalty. Big issues for David Weishart.
That just gave the race away as we go on replay.
Now one in the grass as well.
On replay, he just locked it down. Maybe got a little wheel hop there, something on those lines, and not sure if the iRacing gods will give him a penalty for that, but we'll soon find out. As he overshoots his pit stall on top of it.
Oh, big problems for the 21 machine as bad luck continues here at Kentucky going into
You can see
the second to last
McDaniel
race.
already leaving his stall. Weishart stops the jack on the left side, and there's definitely a penalty involved. He is still remaining in his pit stall. So that is
David Weishart, the bad luck continues. We saw him dominate the first part of the season alongside Travis McDaniel, and man,
yeah, that is the race win, and that
nothing.
is most certainly going to be the championship down the hole unless something huge happens here. I just don't expect to see that. But kind of prompted me to go on a little bit of a stat hunt, Brandon, and earlier in the season when it was just pretty much flip-flopping wins, Weishart won 4, McDaniel won 4 races. Other winners we've had this season was Richard Holland and Joseph McOrder, the other 2 drivers, as we said, McDaniels and Weishart, only winners this season, and looks like Daniel might have this one in the bag, but watch out for that 42. If he can get a caution, I think that 42 can, I think he can play some havoc up there.
Weishart almost got into some trouble again, but that clears up. Yeah, the 42, Garrett Grant. I think if he could get himself up there, he could have a good shot. It's just he may need a yellow to bring everybody back in.
He most certainly will need a yellow. Right now, Bryant Ward's still on the track. He's being scored as the leader right now, 17 seconds up over Ricky Jones, who's being scored in second. And then Richard Holland, remember the ultimate late pit strategy man, back in the 3rd spot. He has worked his way up there on those much fresher tires. Brooks Potts in 4th, Chris Seidenfaden in 5th. Travis McDaniel, he is up to 6th after his pit stop, and then Robert Victory, only other driver up front, has yet to pit in the 7th spot. Have 37 laps to go, if I can do mathematics. See here, well, Ward, how slow he is in comparison to the 11 and the 32 as they flash by on fresher tires and goes back onto the lead lap.
Corey, that would be 47, not 37.
See? I told you I couldn't do math, so I don't feel as bad about screwing that one up because I called it. Oh, caution!
Caution on the speedway!
Michael Tibet's in the 23 off of corner number 2. That is going to make this end of the race a lot more exciting as these guys will be bunched up. Let's see what happened to the 23. He was already slow on the front straightaway.
He was coming out of pit lane.
Oh, he spun out. He was already spun out on the front straightaway.
He hit the apron.
He spun out off of 4 and just drifted into the tri-oval grass. That wasn't the caution,
He was just getting
though.
back up to speed. He was getting, after that, he was getting back up to speed.
He merged on the track right there just a little bit. I don't think that caused the caution either. He's on the front straightaway now, trying to get that truck straightened out.
No, it was down into turn 1, Corey.
So I think right here, where we're watching on the replay, he's trying his hardest to get straightened out and not throw out a yellow. Now he's rolling onto the racetrack. He's getting up to speed. We're still green at this point. This is the longest caution flag replay I've ever watched. He's now entering corner number 1 and merges onto the racetrack and clipped the apron in 1 and 2, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and that will be the first caution flag of the night. And for all of that ado, we have pit stops up front. Bryant Ward looks like a genius now. He's going to pit from the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. So, 44 machine Yeah, he's sitting in a pretty good position right now as long as everything goes right on his pit stop.
Now Ricky Fagone in second, and we'll pull up here. McDaniel will be on the lead lap. Garrett Grant, I believe, will be, he'll have to wave around, as will Weishart, Phil Gary, and Tim Rossetto. So this is definitely going to shake things up front. Bryant Ward will be first off pit lane, and Ricky Fagone in second. See here under this caution, let's see if we could talk to, if you want to talk to the 44 of Bryant Ward, Brandon, get a little analysis on how that worked out for him.
If I can find him, here he is. Bryant Ward, PTR TV, you got a copy?
Yeah, I do.
So, man, you're looking like a genius now, coming out of pit road there. A caution flag right in the middle of green flag pit stops. What's going through your mind right now?
Well, Brooks and I planned on pitting at 44 to 90, you know, in that range to finish out about 44 more laps. And when they went in, we were like, you know what, we're going to 90. So just got lucky, I guess, more than anything. And otherwise, I'd have probably been still playing catch up.
Well, you know, tell us what your plan is going into the end of this race here. You know, you got a pretty fast race truck. What are you planning to do with it?
Well, you know, I'm hoping to stay up front, but David and Travis, and there's a few guys that are faster than here than me tonight. This isn't my favorite place on the planet, and but I plan on trying to do the best I can to stay out front. Honestly, you know, Travis has got such a points lead. It's going to be really hard to beat him in the rest of the series, and we all know what David's like. So I'm really racing one or two trucks out here tonight, and really just trying to stay ahead of them to hopefully wrap up a third in the series or get lucky enough to maybe finish second if David has problems.
All right, man. Well, hopefully you have a good rest of your race, and hopefully we can talk to you on the podium.
Thank you.
Oops. That is Bryant Ward there. He is your newly inherited leader after that set of stops during green flag pit cycle. And look who else, Brandon, is a genius right now. Richard Holland. Remember Mr. Late Pit Stop man all the way lap number 60. We were wondering how it was going to work out for him. Well, through the circumstances of luck, here he is on fresh tires in third spot.
Yeah, and well, everybody around him is on fresh tires now too, though. So, but we've seen him keep the pace, Corey. So, should be interesting to see what he can do as well. Some fast race trucks behind. You got the 42. You got the 2 machine back there.
But remember,
I think
everybody
should
in
get his lap back.
Yeah, everybody in front of Ward right now, so you see the 10, the 42, the 21, etc. They are all wave arounds now, so they will get their laps back. However, they will be stuck, and this is going to be their dismay. They will be stuck on 8-lap older tires. That will be what they have to do to get on the lead lap. So they are going to hope for another caution to get back on an even playing field, but you know how that works out a lot of times when you want a caution. Sometimes you are the caution, so see if luck is in their favor here as we are on the back straightaway here. Lap number 92 at Kentucky Speedway as we have 42 laps to go. I think my math is correct this time by. Getting ready to get this race restarted for the first time.
And the field is stacked up, doubled up, ready to go back. Green flag racing. It'll be the first restart of the night here from Kentucky. The one and only caution flag so far of the night. The iRacing official pace car will be making its way down into the pit lane this time by. Off it goes the field in the hands of the 44 machine now. He's on the throttle. Green flag is back in the air.
And he's on the loud pedal quickly to get that jump in the lead. He's up by about 0.4 of a second. Here they go, 3 wide for second.
Travis McDaniel backing out of it, thought a little bit better of that move. But right onto the back bumper of the 20 machine now trying to look up top of the 31. Going to be pushing the 20 of Ricky Fagone down the back straight away.
This is going to...
Oh, he gets turned! Travis McDaniel turned to the center of the pack!
Championship leader saves that truck. How did he save that truck?
He's just that good. Those guys scrambling behind him. Travis McDaniel gets it collected back up. He's going to keep going somehow without any damage.
On board here, watching that replay here, you can see 20 and the 31 off a corner.
Oh, the 32! 32! Maybe looking to go around. Car contact, up and over.
There is that caution that those drivers needed, but not the break that the 32 needed. A chase driver. Go back on replay. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see what happened to McDaniel, but that was a masterful bit of driving by that 32, by the 2 rather. But the 32 is big wiggle there and ran out of space. And who was that? Was that McDaniel that got a clip of that at the end? Yes, he did. 2 has some damage after that.
Almost sent that 32 machine up and over to 23 involved. I don't know how that 32 machine didn't go upside down, but up on his side.
That was a hard lick for McDaniel. So
yeah. So Travis McDaniel, very, very tough break. Maybe gonna go see if he can get that truck repaired. They do have one backup truck. I don't know if he's already used that tonight or not. I don't believe he has.
I don't think he had any kind of incidents to instigate using it, so he should get that opportunity given back to him. But look at what this is going to do, Brandon. We have McDaniel is going to have to chase his way back up. Weishart going to have to chase his way back up to the field. Those are the 2 fastest drivers. Garrett Grant will be here as well. So it's going to be about 35 laps of these guys who have been dominating this race trying to get back to the front of the field. Bryant Ward staying on the speedway. Interesting decision. We only did run a couple laps, but I would have gave tires at every opportunity, but we'll see how this works out for him. Brooks Potts also remaining on the speedway. Lucky Dog going by right now. I believe that is Patrick Howard. He will 1 lap down now.
So we'll wait to see where everything lines up after pit stops. Looks like the 20 of Ricky Fagone are going to be heading everyone else out of pit lane. The 31 got hung up there, but Ricky Fagone going to be the first one out, but 44 and a 50. Staying out teammates up there, folks. We'll be right back with you. Second caution flag in a row here. We're going to step away for a brief moment, but stay with us. We've got more action coming right up.
I was like, this is it. This is it for me. It wasn't long after that, I was driving an old 78 Camaro out of the weeds at that guy's farm. We pulled that thing out and made a race car out of it, and away we went. You know, I think a driver has more to do with the equation going back and racing dirt, whether it's a modified, a late model. You can do more with the race car. You know, the harder you drive it, a lot of times, the better it goes. You can crawl up on that wheel and feel like you made the difference at the end of the night. Asphalt car, you can't overdrive them. Well, that was the first thing that I had to learn right off the bat is, oh my gosh, I've got to discipline myself, not overdrive this thing, and that's how you get the most out of it. Truth be told, communicating the right information to your crew and your crew chief so they can do their job and make their appropriate adjustments for you to go faster and do your job is probably 90% of the game in our world. I've always loved late models. You know, my dream was to be a late model driver driving for a living across the country like Daryl and Don do that drive for me. I mean, that was, truth be told, that was my dream, you know. I always wanted a semi. I always wanted a stacker trailer with 2 hot rods in it and let's go racing. Let's take off with your buddies and go race and chase that dream. Never in a million years did I think it would turn into a Cup Series, and I actually have an opportunity to own 2 you know, dirt late model teams. When you think of iRacing, you don't think of a video game. It's not. It's way above and beyond any of that. You know, dirt racing changes so much. The track changes so much. Being able to capture that, to, you know, experience all those details that surround dirt racing and make dirt racing what it is what makes iRacing so cool, because they did nail all of that. I knew when they came to our shop and scanned cars and went to the detail of getting that car right, I knew that it was going to be over the top, because it blew my mind just the work that went into making sure the car itself was legit. This sport has been around a long time. The competition can't be replaced, and that's what brings people back to the racetrack week in and week out.
Welcome back, race fans. Field stacked up, doubled it up, ready to go back. Green flag racing once again. Field once again in the hands of the 44. Brian Ward ready to get these guys back underway. His teammate Brooks Potts next to him on the outside lane. So it should be interesting. Those guys are the only two that did not pit. Pace car is in. 44 on the loud pedal. We're back underway.
Not as big of a jump from Ward that time by, but he did indeed get enough of one. Brooks Potts hasn't been up there all day. He's in the second position now. Here comes Ricky Fagone in third. Remember, these drivers, McDaniel, Weishart, and Grant, 8th, 9th, and 10th, they got to work their way back up.
These guys gotta be fighting a little bit harder, starting to get closer to the end of this race. Just a handful of laps to go. It'll be 35 laps to go this time by
David Weishart in the middle of a 3 wide with McDaniel and Holland off of corner number 4.
Boy.
Up to 7th position is McDaniel trying to get by Robert Victory. 21 of Weishart and Garrett Grant. They are side by side for 8th.
Now Brandon Stokes up to the second position. Corey Ricky Fagone trying to make his way through, but he's going to end up falling back. Weishart and McDaniel side by side behind them. Robert Victory kind of right in front of Weishart, but he's kind of defending both of those lines right now.
Yes, he is, and here comes Richard Holland underneath the 42 of Garrett Grant, who just hasn't showed the speed since that first stint of the race. But he is hanging with these guys, the 2 getting blocked in by the 7 of Victory. So here comes the 21 of Weishart around the outside. Weishart in the prime position.
Side by side for position. 21 in the 7. Back there, Weishart maybe trying to pitch him down to the bottom line, right up against that yellow. Now Weishart right on the back bumper, gonna look at almost 3 wide there. Very, very risky move from that 21 machine. He dives it deep down into turn number 3. He's gonna clear the 20 off of turn number 4, but the crossover from Ricky Fagone down low, not gonna work.
Yeah, he is right to the back bumper of the 21, nearly into the back
Pushing
bumper.
in contact between those two drivers.
Right underneath, Garrett Grant was the 3 wide move to get to the underneath side of the 2 and the 7. Will manage to get into the 7th position behind Fagone.
42's got company though, almost contact between the 2 and the 7. That time by. Now the 42 right onto the back bumper to 20. David Weishart trying to make his way up front. David Weishart.
Whoa, to the inside of Seidenfeld and to the inside of Brooks Potts. Brooks Potts trying to go in the middle 3 wide as he drops back here. Weishart all the way up to the 3rd position.
Boy, oh boy. Travis McDaniel still stuck back there in rush hour traffic. Stuck behind the 42 and the 20. Weishart cleared everybody.
Remember, this is what Weishart needs. He's 13 points back. So this is a good 5 or 6 points that he could be making up if McDaniels is stuck back there. I don't expect him to stay back there. But every single point is vital for the 21's championship hope.
Absolutely, Corey. And, well, don't look now. Here comes that 42 machine as well. Garrett Grant trying to make his way back up through the field. Down to the outside of the 50 of Brooks Potts. Along behind him comes that 2 machine of McDaniel.
He is. It looks like Potts all the way to the inside. Maybe not having it right at the moment. Too much momentum loss on the inside. But here comes the 2 with the diver into corner number 3.
Oh, boy.
All the way to the
Contact
inside.
between a 50 and a 76.
Yeah, they are double file formation. The 2 nearly in the fence off of corner number 4, but still double file is the 20 and the 76. William Budd in the 76. Haven't mentioned too much tonight. But we got to go up front, Brandon. We do have a battle for the lead.
Brandon Stokes trying to look to the inside of the 44 of Brian Ward. Now heading down the back straightaway. The 11 is right at the back bumper. He got really big in the mirror to 44 this time, down into turn number 3. Brandon Stokes trying to get something done here. He has the momentum down off of turn number 4.
Does, and let's see what he does with it. I think he's going to want to try to get to the outside, but he's going to look to the inside, look to the outside. It goes for the block. Is the 44 contact entering corner number 1.
Little bit of contact. The 44 had to check up just a little bit more than he'd like. Kind of got shoved into the
tight
corner
call
now.
off of 2.
Stokes to the outside lane, gonna be side by side for the lead. Ward trying to shove him up a groove, trying to not give up that upper groove. Now Ward trying to dive in the corner a little bit, trying to get the run off. Little bit loose was Stokes that time off of turn number 4. Still gonna hold it. Stokes leading that lap.
The biggest fear in these drivers' minds right now is that big red number 21 truck in the rearview mirror. That 11 needs to go. He is clear, but watch out. There is a hungry number 21 truck ready to pounce.
Yeah, Weishart has not had a very good, has had really no good races here in the playoff season, and he's hungry for another victory. He needs to get a victory if he has any hopes at the championship going into next week.
Daniel has gotten up to the 6th position right now. He has kind of gotten by Brooks Potts and William Budd, but he is still behind Garrett Grant and Chris Seidenfeld, and the 2 of them being side by side now for the 4th spot as the 42 washes up the track. Some contact!
Oh, contact! Around goes a truck. Oh, they're still wrecking.
Right in front of McDaniel.
42 hard into the inside wall. Caution flag on the speedway. I thought they were going to save it, but they were beating and banging off each other, trying to keep their truck straight.
Yes, they were. You could see the 42 running all the way to the inside, pushed up the track into the 62. 62, very good save there. The 42 actually helped him save it. Then they're banging doors on the back straightaway. The 42 a little loose to the inside, hard against the inside wall. And
hard contact with the concrete there, down on the inside.
If he has a backup truck, I would have to imagine that he does, but Brandon, this is going to set us up for about a 20 to 22 lap shootout to the end. All these drivers will be most certainly getting on a 4 fresh set of tires. Weishart is in 3rd, Chris Seidenfeld in 4th, but Travis McDaniel in 5th, right in the picture. We've lost a very quick driver in Garrett Grant, so it looks like Stokes can really pull something off. I think it's going to be the classic McDaniel and Weishart battle.
Yeah, but they're going to have to get by the 44. They're going to have to get by the 11, and they're going to put up a fight.
They will. It's going to be some exciting racing to close out tonight's race at Kentucky, as everyone coming to the attention of their pit crews here for what could be the last time. We'd ever quite know, but this is the stop that you cannot screw up. You can't slide through the box. You can't stop too shallow in the box. You can't go too far right, too far left. You got to nail those pit stops, and it looks like the 11 did just that. Right in the center of the stall. The 50 of Brooks Potts had a little trouble entering his pit stall. That'll cost him time and position.
Yeah, his crew was not quite able to get over to the one side of the truck without
exiting the pits.
Being in the virtual traffic.
Stokes exiting the pits, and the battle for 2nd. It looks like Weishart gains a spot off pit exit.
Weishart going to be starting right next to the 11. Stokes is going to have to get a fantastic jump off this restart. Garrett Grant being given an EOL for cause of caution.
Let's actually pull up in the booth here tonight. Let's grab actually the number 11 machine and talk to him here for this last stint. All right, Brandon Stokes, PTR TV, you got a copy?
10-4, got you.
All right, so you made a good pass there on the lead on Bryant Ward. You got yourself in the lead. You're on an even set of tires against everybody else. What do you think you can do here these last 20 or so laps?
I think it's going to be close. I've been pretty tight to start the run and then loose later on. Probably 15 laps is when the truck starts getting dialed in. I think we'll have a pretty good shot here. I just got to be able to hold David off.
What has been, obviously Kentucky with all the bumps and whatnot, it's kind of a difficult track. What has been the biggest challenge for you, or maybe just in the race overall? What's kind of been your biggest thing that you've had to work through here tonight?
More of the bumps. It just unsettles the truck a lot. Getting into the corner and just trying to get her way down to hit the apex off, and but overall, it's been a good night, man. I have nothing to complain about.
All right, man. We'll let you get back focused. You got about a 20-lap shootout, so do the best you can. Hopefully we'll talk to you on the podium.
10-4. Appreciate it, bud.
That is the number 11 machine, Brandon Stokes. He will have a very big task ahead of him, but I think he could be up to the challenge here. As we said, he likes the longer run. He likes to come into play about 15 laps in. So, I mean, he's going to technically have that. He's going to have about 20 to 25 laps to play with here, so we'll see what happens. We did see very early in the race, Weishart was able to pull out to a pretty good lead, but was not able to keep it, so we'll see what's in the cards. And too far back, but Daniel's in the 4th spot.
Yeah, so lights are out.
Oh, great minds think alike. Lights out are on the lights out are on the pace car.
Lights out are on the pace car. Do you English?
Evidently not.
Evidently.
Evidently not.
Shout out to Evan Black for being a commentator. Yep.
Leader choosing the outside, it does appear so, for this start here, which is a pretty good call. If he can't get the jump, he wants to be in that preferred lane, entering corner number 1 if he does need to battle the number 21. So pretty good call. That's going to give him McDaniel behind him. Bryant Ward is behind Weishart on the inside of the front row, of the inside of row 2 rather. We're coming through 3 and 4. We've had our 3rd caution of the race, our 3rd restart of the race coming up in a matter of moments. It could be the final one, so buckle up, get ready for what could be a very exciting battle here at Kentucky. Pace car is just about 2, and there it does take that left-hand turn into pit lane. When will the 11 get on the loud pedal? He already is. We're back racing here at Kentucky.
I think that was a good call from Brandon Stokes to take the outside line. Look at the gaggle of trucks behind him.
McDaniel got a good run on the outside. He's going to round the outside on Bryant Ward, trying to see if he can pinch him down, get the momentum. Ward pushes up just a little bit through the center of the corner on corner number exit, but he's going to get the run, is the 2, and will clear for the 3rd spot.
Corner number exit is Corey.
I'm getting excited. Leave me alone here. Coming
down at a corner number exit 4. down the front straightaway. David Weishart manages to clear Travis McDaniel. McDaniel still trying to fight to get around the 44 machine. Now heading down into turn number 1. Going to be side by side between the 2 and the 44.
I called you every time you messed up. We'd have an entire episode of it. But down the back straightaway they come. McDaniel into the 3rd spot. Ward in 4th. They will single file out. But Brandon Stokes is up to about a 4/10 of a second lead here. 20 laps to go on the board. Can he hold on? That is what the question we will have to soon answer. McDaniel is in the 3rd spot, stalking Weishart, trying to get that battle going too.
These guys kind of singled out, but Travis McDaniel has his eyes set on that 21 machine of David Weishart now. Coming down out of turn number 2.
Fastest truck on the racetrack actually was that number 11 by about 100th of a second. So he's doing what he needs to do, which is just run consistent laps. Even if he's not the fastest, just be about the same speed. That gap will not evaporate. But the best thing that could be happening for him is a battle for second.
Car the grass front straightaway.
Trying to find it. It looks like it was Robert
7.
Victory. Got to go back on replay, see what happened to Robert if we can. Call me up, Brandon, if something happens live that we need to follow. But he is underneath the number 62 of Seidenfeld and the 42 of Grant to the outside there. This is off corner number 4 for the number 7. And the 3 wide situation, the 42 split the middle. Didn't realize the 7 was still there. Shoved him in the grass. Bryant Ward
Battle
under
for
fire. 76 William Budd in the the green and yellow machine, colorblind here. Tim Roseno takes the opportunity to go to the outside there on the back straightaway. Roseno into the 5th position. Haven't talked about him too much yet either, but coming through in money time.
Battle for the 2nd position could be heating up here soon, Corey. The 2 machine has got the 21 now. Maybe gonna try to find a way around here if he can just get a little bit closer. It's Travis McDaniel, David Weishart trying to battle it out, and it looks like they might just be catching the leader.
They did gain about a tenth or so last time by, actually just through 1 and 2 alone, so Stokes did not have a very good first end of the speedway. We'll see if he can get back into rhythm through 3 and 4, and as we complete another lap, gap is just about 0.3 of a second.
Did Stokes maybe burn off his tires a little bit too soon, Corey?
He potentially did. We've run about 7 laps under green, so that is enough to aggravate those Dr. Feelgoods, as Rusty Wallace used to say. But he did pull away by about half a tenth there. Maybe he just got over the bumps the wrong way and just got a little bit loose. It does look like he's kind of got his rhythm back.
I just saw some serious contact between the 44, and I can't tell who that is next to him. I believe that's the 10.
Yeah, they are.
More contact. Those guys bumping and banging, maybe not happy with each other.
Oh, here
now
comes
the 10 drifts up, more contact.
He's going to put the 44 nearly pushed into the wall there. But while that's going on,
trying to take full advantage of this. Those guys racing hard. They're not happy. Contact again.
Tight quarters racing with 15
how long
to go.
Before we get another caution?
Up front, battle for the lead. McDaniel to, Weishart to the inside.
21 machine David Weishart to the inside of Brandon Stokes. Those guys going to be side by side. That allows McDaniel to catch up now. It's going to be a top 3 battling for 1 position, battling for the front position here at Kansas. This is going to turn into the battle for the win.
Second time today we're at Kansas Speedway, but on the outside is...
Oh, Kentucky.
Second time tonight,
Same
Brandon.
thing.
Second time tonight. They both start with K's. That's the only similarity. But on the outside is the number 11, the 21 of Weishart, all the way down to the apron there. He's got to watch out. It's extremely bumpy down there. Entering corner number 1, Stokes is still running that outside groove, the defensive groove, where you kind of want to run to block these guys off. But here comes the 2 to the outside of the 21, side by side for second.
Coming down the back straightaway, going into turn number 3, power move down to the bottom of the racetrack, side by side for the lead. Stokes going to have the momentum off corner number exit. Caution flag on the speedway.
Very subtle. Let's see what happened. I believe it was Garrett Grant again. That good run has just come to a screeching halt for that number 42. He was battling Richard Holland for about the 10th position, entering corner number 3. That is just a lot of left rear contact, so he managed to keep it going, but just sideways enough to cue the flag man to throw the yellow. And we are going to have a good old-fashioned about 8-lap shootout. And I will give a lot of props to that number 11. He has done a masterful job hanging on. I would imagine 4 tires from everybody, but don't be surprised if there's some 2-tire stops at the end of the field.
Boy, there was a lot going on during that little run there. And these guys coming in for pit stops. The 44 trying to get every advantage he can underneath Weishart, now going to fall back into line.
So this is the million-dollar question. I'd have to imagine everyone takes 4 tires. We actually had 1 stay out, Chris Seidenfaden, so that is going to be the most risky strategy call of the night, but we'll see what everyone else chooses to do. We are on pit lane. See if everyone can enter their pit stops smoothly. Does appear to be the case, at least from the top 3 drivers. David Weishart, he has the advantage of the P1 stall, so let's see if he can get the run out. 11 exiting his box. Here comes McDaniel. 11 with the easy victory out of pit lane. 21 and 2. 44 into the 4th spot. But remember, Chris Seidenfaden stayed on the speedway.
Now, let's see if that was just to lead a lap or if it was to start this race in position number 1. I mean, really staying out this late in the race. The tires were, well, you had a little bit of a run on them, but, you know, it's late enough in the race. Maybe he could hold off a little bit better of a position than what he would have had.
still erring to the side of this is a risky call.
Well, it always is staying out on old tires, and I think,
well,
Corey, you know that.
Well, there are times, and not to degrade strategies, but just as kind of a reference point, there are times when, obviously on iRacing, we do not have native green-white checkers, so we do have races end under caution if they go far enough into it. So if you have a caution, let's say you have a restart with 4 laps to go or something on those lines, if you stay out, there's a very quick caution, that race is going to be over and you're going to finish exactly where you were so you can sneak a win out. This is not going to end like that. If there is a quick caution, we're going to go back racing. So he's going to have at least 3 to 4 laps to hang on to make something advantageous come out of this. So
well, I don't think McDaniel really is going to like the position that he's in right now. He is going to be restarting, I believe, right behind that 62 machine.
If he does, I mean, we are not on 1 to go yet, so we should get that this time by. We'll confirm if the 62 is going to take the top, but the thing that McDaniel will have going for him is he is on the outside, so if there is space and he does get a good enough run, he can just go straight to the top and pass him legally.
Yeah, so well, we will have to see. I believe it should be 1 to green this time by.
We started 16 trucks. We're running 15 of them at the moment. 15 of the 15 on the track still on the lead lap. Michael Tibet's only driver off the speedway, and he had some heavy damage in a prior caution. Race summary thus far, we have completed 125 of the 134 laps. We've had 9 lead changes tonight, 4 cautions for what will be 17 laps after this shakes through. So we will have 8 laps to go. Brandon, take your pick.
Well, I'm gonna go with that 2 machine, Travis McDaniel.
I'm gonna I'm gonna give the number 11 the first pick I think I've ever given him this season. So we'll see if I am a jinx or if it works out. So we'll see what your picks are. If you have picks, pipe them in chat. We'll make it a little game. See where our favorite drivers can finish. See if that 62 can sneak out a good finish here on these older tires. It's going to be a hectic restart here. What probably could be the final restart. Brandon, take it away.
Poor Weishart. Nobody picked him this week. I'm sure if Evan was here, he would have picked him.
Probably.
But the iRacing official pace car ready to pull in this time by. Off it goes. 62 on the loud pedal. Green flag is back in the air.
And look at them shaking for the second spot all the way to the inside of the 11 of Stokes. Trying to make that happen there, but let's see what happens on those old tires. What can Seidenfaden do? Here comes the 11 of Stokes for the lead.
Yeah, they're going to probably get around him pretty
Into
easy. The 62 over the outside wall.
He stays straight, but look at up front.
Everybody misses him.
Look at the gaggle for the lead. For the win.
Oh boy, 3, 4, 5 trucks ready to fight for the lead. Brandon Stokes out front right now. David Weishart right to his back bumper.
Here we go, to the inside, to the outside. Weishart trying to find a spot by, nearly bump drafting through the trial, but he has to watch out for that little bit of bump, a little bit of blinking rather. 3 wide. 2,
3
44,
wide behind
10.
them. They managed to get away with it that time by. Battle for the lead still goes on. The 21 Weishart looking high, looking low. Nowhere to go right now.
Remember, the iRacing cutoff lap is about 5 laps to go, so they need to get this done just in case the race ends under caution off of corner number 4. 21 giving not an inch of space. Look at how close this is for the win.
David Weishart still right to the back bumper to the 11 of Brandon Stokes. Now heading down into turn number 1. Weishart looking to the low side. Not going to happen. I think the low side's pretty much shot at this point. Too much rubber down there to run. You got to be in that second groove. Spinner on the back straightaway. No caution yet.
Patrick Howard, if he can get it going or remove himself, he gets himself off the track, we stay green.
He is off the track. Track is clear. Battle still continues for the lead. David Weishart still right up there by the 11.
This is the iRacing cutoff lap, so if a caution comes out from now on, the race will end behind the pace car. We will hope that doesn't happen. We want to see this win play out naturally. Here comes the 21, again running that inside groove. McDaniel is about 4 truck lengths back. If anything happens, he'll be there to pounce.
Brandon Stokes still out front of this thing right now. Travis McDaniel broke free from the rest of the trucks behind him. Now he's got his eye set on the 21 of David Weishart.
Does look like the 11 has gotten about a truck length. He's gotten a tiny bit of buffer, not very much, but it is something. But here comes the 21 trying to run that yellow line. I'm not sure if that's going to be the move he should be making. It's going to be really hard, and the 21 loses about a truck length.
Yeah, about a truck and a half separating the 11 and the 21 right now. Two Machine Travis McDaniel, the only one that's really been able to make that bottom work. And even now, I think it's pretty much shot. Nothing doing down there. Now Weishart ducks down to the apron, see if he can get a little bit of time, and that he does. Right back to the back bumper to the 11 of Stokes.
4.5 miles, 3 laps left around Kentucky. This is the battle for the lead. This is the battle for the win. 21 of Weishart going for the championship. He needs a good run. His championship competitor is right behind him, so there's not going to be much of a points gain today, but there is one more point ahead of that number 21, and that is the 11 of Brandon Stokes going for his first win of the season. Can he hang on for 2 more laps?
Stokes trying to defend against every move that Weishart makes. Weishart now underneath him, heading down into turn number 1. Battle for the lead, battle for the win. Stokes with the momentum up at the high side.
All he has to do is play defense, bog that 21 down, hope the 21 doesn't slide up, make contact, hope the 21 doesn't get to his outside. That is his challenges. He has 1.5 more miles. We come through turns number 3 and 4 at Kentucky. Actually pulls away by about 2 truck lengths as we come to the white flag lap.
White flag is in the air this by from Kentucky. Not Kansas, Kentucky. Heading down into turn number 1, Brandon Stokes still out front. Weishart gonna have to try something down through turns 3 and 4 if he's gonna be able to get the win. He's right to the back bumper, maybe gonna try to power move down to the bottom. There he goes.
He sails it off in there to the yellow line. Will he wash up the track? He's going to wash up the track. No contact. The 11 will sail around the outside. First win of the season at Kentucky Speedway. Give it to Brandon Stokes.
Top 3 going to be Brandon Stokes in the 11, David Weishart in that 21, and rounding out the podium is Travis McDaniel in that 2 Machine. Our congratulations go out to the 11 of Brandon Stokes for his first win of the season. Stick around, folks. We'll be right back with you for the Post Race Show.
The yellow flag is out. Pit road is now open. Keep your eye on those gauges. We'll give you 4 tyres. 3, 2, 1, now. We're done. Get going.
And we're back here on PTR TV for the post-race show after what was an amazing finish here, a hard-fought battle. Great race by Rivalry guys at the Kentucky, not Kansas Speedway. So let's wrap up coverage tonight. Let's start the post-race show where Brandon Krutz has caught up with the driver of Travis McDaniel for his 3rd place finish here at Kansas.
Very, very slick, by the way, Corey. I'm down here with Travis McDaniel, coming home with a 3rd place finish. Travis, how you feeling after this race?
That was fun. What a race. Had a lot of stuff happen there. I almost got turned around in 3, and come from 10th back up, and pretty exciting stuff going on all around track. So all in all, I'm pretty happy. Good point stay. I think we're going into Atlanta with a 10 or 11 point lead. So as long as I keep the fenders on it, should be good. But that was fun.
Yeah, I mean, you guys put on some really good racing. Just tell us a little bit about your race tonight.
Well, when it started off caution-free, I figured that's probably how it was going to end, so all my strategy was built around that. Followed David in the pits there. On that second time, looks like he had some trouble getting in, and when we saw that, I figured, you know, if it would stay green, I'd be the one out there doing burnouts, but it didn't. Pretty crazy last half of the race, and once that was my fault there when I cut Richard's nose off. That was all on me, so thank God it did bring out a caution, and I was able just to go back to 10th and not all the way to the back, and able to make it back to the front there and battle for the lead. And then we had that last one, 7 to go, and I'm never fast on these little short runs, never fast, so I just tried to hold Brian off and keep that 3rd spot.
Yeah, well, he definitely managed to hold off, and you're on podium. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank a shout out to?
Yeah, thank y'all for broadcasting. Friends and family watching. We got one more race to go. Let's wrap it up in Atlanta. I think it's going to be a good one.
All right, Travis. Congratulations on your podium finish, and good luck going into the championship next week.
Thank you.
Now, I do believe Corey has caught up with 2nd place finisher David Weishart.
All right, David, it was a crazy up and down day for you. Up front, you led some laps, you were a lap down, had that pit road issues, but you came back and had a hectic battle with Stokes for the win there. Just talk about, well, to start, let's talk about that last battle for the last restart.
Yeah, I got my track position back after going a lot down, and my brother, my teammates stayed out there, so it kind of got me and Brandon out there on an island there, and he pulled out from me a couple times. I'd reel him back in and kind of went back and forth there for the last 8 laps or so, and coming to the white flag, I thought I was done, and I caught back up to him there and just took one more stab at it. I didn't really want to wash up into him. I ain't about all that. I'd rather finish 2nd clean and then just completely move somebody for the win there.
It looked like, I mean, I'm sure you probably had the same mindset. We just talked to Travis. It looked like this race was going to have a green flag flair to it, and you had those green flag stops. Obviously, you had a little bit of trouble there, but what was your mindset when we started having cautions and a lot of restarts and bunched up racing at the end?
Yeah, it did have a green flag feel to it. I thought I was done after that pit road mistake, and the caution came out, and I had to take the wave around, and I had a feeling there was going to be some late race action just because the setup's so tight here that I had a feeling there was going to be some more cautions. So, and then from then on, I just made some risky moves and some ballsy moves to kind of get up there, get my track position back, and from then on, it was just pretty much racing Brandon and Travis there for the win.
Yeah, had a very good battle. It was a really good race to watch on TV. You finished 2nd, though. Who do you want to give your shout-outs to tonight, man?
I'm going to give my shout-out to everybody like normal, but I want to give a shout-out to my dad. It would have been his 54th birthday today, but he passed away about 8 years ago, so he's the only person I want to mention today.
All right, amen to that, brother. So he'll be looking down and for the best for you. So congrats on the 2nd, and talking to you next week, I'm sure.
All right, thank you, guys. See you next week.
Brandon will talk to tonight's winner, the number 11 of Brandon Stokes.
Yeah, he's out of the race car now. Your winner here tonight, Brandon Stokes. How you feeling?
Feel ecstatic, man. It's been a long time coming.
Well, man, tell us a little bit about your race, your ups and downs. You know, you think you were going to walk away with a victory here tonight?
I did not. I thought probably had a second or third place car there, truck, excuse me, and there early on in the race, I just couldn't keep pace with Travis and the 22 or 21, excuse me, and I guess all the cards fell into place and helped me out there towards the end with the cautions a little bit, but I knew that high line was going to work in later on in the race, and it eventually worked in for me.
Well, man, what a tough race all night. We saw you take the lead there at the end. Tell us about those last few laps.
They were nerve-wracking, man. I messed up there, I think, coming out of 2. I pushed real hard. I tried to get back to the throttle too quickly and pushed, and I had to get off the throttle a little bit there and got David to my back bumper. But I wasn't giving up that high lane for nothing. He was going to have to, move me a little bit or whatever, but me and David raced each other pretty clean, so I didn't expect anything like that from him because,
Well, you come home with an awesome victory here tonight, winning it in style, battling David Weishaupt there at the end. Is there anybody that you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to my girlfriend Makeeng, my parents, my brother and sister, my guys over at Strange Nuts Autosports and Overtake Motorsports. I appreciate everything and everybody. Sodafix.com. And y'all for broadcasting every week, man. It's been a great night, and I didn't expect anything like this.
Well, awesome job tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Your winner of the night, Brandon Stokes.
All right, so that is the post-race show here tonight on PTR TV. We will wrap up coverage by giving you the final rundown here tonight from the Kentucky Speedway. With the victory, his first victory in the Rivalry Racing League is number 11, Brandon Stokes, leading 25 laps. David Weishaupt leading 62 laps, finishes second. Travis McDaniel finishing third. Bryant Ward in fourth. Tim Rossetto in fifth. Then we have Phil Gary, William Budd, Brooks Potts, Joseph McOrder, and Richard Holland, your top 10. Rounding out the field, Robert Victory, Garrett Grant, Chris Seidenfeld, and Ricky Stone, Patrick Howard, and Michael Tibet's the top 16 for tonight.
Well, shout out to all of our staff here on PTR TV. Corey Silva, Michael DeGroat behind the scenes with PR, Evan Black, one of our other commentators here, Joe Chris behind the scenes, our quality control specialists, and just everybody that helps us out on the channel, including our channel sponsors, including Air Movement Fabrications. They're a family-run business formerly established in 2012. With over 25 years of experience in the ventilation industry, they offer a wide range of services. This includes ducting, ventilation, extraction, and canopies. If you're in the Nottingham, UK area, Air Movement Fabrications is a ventilation service to trust. Also, Krutz Custom Graphics, custom racing shirts, Euro cards, paint schemes, and much more. From local racers to big race teams, we've got your back. Based out of upstate New York, Krutz Custom Graphics is always P1. Also, iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics, custom graphics, coding, and theme design for iRacing's two main overlay systems, ATVO and IRTVO. If you're a broadcast company looking for custom overlays to make your channel shine, talk to Jason Allison with iBog iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. Also, for all these sweet camera views that you see mostly every night here on the channel, be sure to visit TrackCams22.com, TrackCams for Gourmet, or you can find them at TrackCams or Facebook.com/TrackCams. Also, be sure to check out our Patreon to keep broadcast quality high and cost low for league owners. We need all help the fans. Check out our Patreon at patreon.com/PTRTV. If you become a patron, you get rewards that vary depending on how much you donate. Become a patron at patreon.com/PTRTV.
That's it on the broadcast here on PTR TV. It was an excellent night of racing by the Rivalry Racing League. Brandon Stokes getting the victory. Make sure you stay tuned until tomorrow night. Hardline Racing, actually, I'm going to take that back. Hardline Racing League is off tomorrow night. Not used to saying that. But Monday and Tuesday, we have the Integrity Racing League and American Sim Racing Series. We do have a couple big announcements in store here on PTR TV. You will see some changes in the future on the channel, so you're going to want to stay tuned to our social media, facebook.com/PTR TV, and of course the website, www.primetimeracing.tv. A big up to date on all the news in regards to the channel and things that are associated with it. So, signing out of the booth is Corey Silva and Brandon Krutz. Joe Chris behind the scenes. Have a great night, everyone, and we will catch you next time.
Have a great night, everybody, and we'll catch you next time.